What's up, guys? It's Denta. Now, lately I've been spending a lot of time in hell because Bethesda actually gave me a premium edition key for Doom the Dark Ages. Now, I honestly didn't expect that, so huge thanks to them for the key. I really appreciate it. Now, after 31 hours, I finished the game and collected every single collectible. At first, I thought about making a full collectibles guide, but by the time early access dropped, there were already tons of videos and written guides out there. And honestly, the game already marks collectibles on your map, so missing them is pretty unlikely unless you are rushing through the game. So instead, I figured I'd just make a short video to give you my honest take, so no BS, on whether Doom the Dark Ages deserves your time and, more importantly, your money. And don't worry, I will keep this as spoiler-free as possible. Now I hope that this helps some of you decide whether to grab the game or maybe skip it. Now since I usually make WoW guides, I have no idea how this video is going to go. But hey, if you don't try, you will never know, right? So let's just get to it. So let's start with the difficulty, because that's actually the first thing the game asks you to choose. There are 6 difficulty levels. Aspiring Slayer, which used to be called I'm Too Young to Die, no idea why they changed it. But it's basically the easy mode. Then you have Hurt Me Plenty, which is your standard normal mode. Ultra Violence is the hard mode. Nightmare is very hard. And then we have Pandemonium, which is like Nightmare, but with a twist. If you run out of life sigils, your run ends, and you will have to do the campaign all over again. And finally, Ultra Nightmare, which is basically Nightmare, but if you die even once, it's game over, and you will have to do the campaign all over again. Even though these are fixed presets, the game actually lets you customize them. You can tweak how much damage you take, change the parry window, and even adjust the overall game speed. So if you want it to be even more fast-paced, you can crank it up to, for example, 150%. For my first playthrough, I went with Ultra Violence, since I remembered how brutal Nightmare was in Doom Eternal. But honestly, Ultra Violence in Doom the Dark Ages felt a lot easier, especially whenever your weapons are fully upgraded. Now that said, I still think that it's a solid starting point if it's your first Doom game and you want a bit of a challenge. It's not too easy, not too punishing, but definitely more forgiving than Eternal's Ultra Violence. Now, as for how the game runs, I played it on PC, so I can't say how it performs on consoles, but I'd imagine it runs great there too. On my setup, which still has a 3080 in it, the game ran basically perfectly on the highest settings. It was super smooth all the way through. I only had one crash across the entire 31-hour playthrough. I still have no idea why. But it happened at a pretty funny moment, so I honestly don't even mind. I also got a notification to update my drivers before playing the game, but since the game was already running fine, I didn't bother. I mean, if it runs, right? Now honestly, it doesn't just run well, it looks amazing too. Which brings me to the story and overall aesthetics. Now since this is a spoiler-free video, I won't go too deep into the story, but that said, the story itself is really cool. It even has one part that might make some of you sad. Now you should not expect something as deep as Cyberpunk or Red Dead Redemption 2, but man, this is absolutely a Doom story. It's gory, it's badass, and I had a lot of what the actual reactions while going through it. The cinematics were seriously awesome. Every time the Doomslayer shows up, he brings this presence that's just ridiculously badass. So yeah, if you want a classic Doom-style story, I think that you are going to love this. Now as for the vibe, the aesthetics, and level design, I loved it. The world is violent, brutal, and packed with crumbling buildings, burning houses, and just full-on chaos. You get to see hell, obviously, which has these massive demons hanging from crosses, towering buildings with giant skulls on them. There's even another area that has a whole different kind of huge-ass monsters that I will let you discover for yourself. There are air battles on your dragon, mech battles, and holy shit, like visually, those parts were insane. Honestly, these mech battles kinda made me feel like I was the Assault Titan from Attack on Titan. Now that said, I do think that they could have made the mech and dragon fights a bit more challenging and interesting. You're basically just pressing 1 or 2 buttons the whole time. Now, even though those chapters were really easy, I still enjoyed playing through those chapters. As for the music, it's not made by Mick Gordon, which made the previous Doom soundtracks, right? But when the music is not bugging out and randomly disappearing, it gets you right in that rip and tear mindset. It just fits the game perfectly. Now, I know for a lot of you, the thing that you care about most is the gameplay. So let's get into it. One of the first things that you will notice, especially if you have been playing the previous Doom games, is that everything feels a bit slower. And that's intentional, because in Doom the Dark Ages, you are basically a walking tank that holds the line and obliterates everything in front of him. It's really cool. Now, if you are someone who loved the lightning fast movement from Doom Eternal, you might find the slower pace a bit jarring at first. But personally, I really liked it. You feel heavy, powerful, basically like a juggernaut, stomping through hell with a shield in one hand and a weapon in the other. Especially whenever you are going to sprint or jump and hear your footsteps smash into the ground, it just sounds and feels amazing. Even though the pace is slower compared to Eternal, it's still fast enough to feel like a Doom game. Now, one of the big additions to this game is the parry system. It's a bit of a love it or hate it mechanic. Basically, certain enemy attacks, especially projectiles, can be parried if you block with your shield at the right time. Parry a projectile and you will send it flying right back at the enemy for damage. Now later on, when you upgrade your shield, parrying gets even more satisfying. You can unlock effects like, for example, electrifying nearby enemies after a successful parry. Now, I don't dislike the parry system at all. In fact, pulling off a full parry streak against a tough enemy feels awesome. It can create this cool badass combat scene. But I totally get that if you are coming from the older Doom games, which were more about constant movement and ranged chaos, this more melee-focused style might not be for everyone. Now, even though this Doom leans more into melee, there are still plenty of ranged weapons for you to find and use. And the cool thing is that many of them can be buffed after a successful parry, depending on which upgrades you have taken. Now, you can also use your shield that you use for parrying as a weapon against weaker demons. And oh man, it makes you feel like Captain America. If Cap was out there slicing demons in half with his shield. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the combat and movement in this game feels really, really good. But I do have one major complaint. They pretty much got rid of the up-close glory kills from the previous games. And honestly, I think that it's a shame, because those glory kills were really cool in the previous Doom games. Now, I hope that they are going to bring them back whenever they are going to release their DLC, but I'm not sure if they are going to do that. But a man can hope, right? One other thing that might be a hit or miss, depending on how much you care about finding secrets, is how easy it is to find everything in the game. Most chapters take place in large open areas, and the game pretty much shows you where everything is on the map as soon as you enter. So yeah, 100%ing the game is actually pretty easy compared to other games. The only real exception here is that there are these chapter-specific challenges which can reward you with a weapon skin, but don't worry, they are not hard to complete at all. Alright guys, so let's talk about the price and whether this Doom is actually worth picking up. So the standard edition goes for 80 euros or $70, and that gets you the full game. Now the premium edition includes some bonus skins, a digital art book, the soundtrack, and access to the upcoming story DLC. That one is 110 euros or $100. But the cool thing is that if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can download the base game right now for free. Now, is the game worth it? Honestly, if you are a Doom fan and you like what you've seen and heard so far, I'd say yeah, absolutely. The game is definitely worth it. It's got a fun campaign, sick visuals, solid performance, satisfying combat, and plenty of collectibles for you to get without driving you nuts. And again, if you've got Game Pass, there is zero reason not to at least try it. Now there's just one thing that I need to say. 80 euros or $70 is a lot for a game that you can finish in around 10 to 12 hours if you are just doing the story on normal or easy. Especially when you look at recent releases like Oblivion Remastered or Expedition 33, which, let's be real, is going to be the game of the year. We all know it. Now, those games cost less and offer way more content. So yeah, if you can only buy one big game right now and don't have Game Pass, then honestly, maybe just wait for a sale. Now that said, I've loved Doom since I was a 7-year-old kid playing Doom 3 on the original Xbox. And even though I was lucky enough to get a premium edition key from Bethesda, I probably would have bought the game eventually. Maybe not right away, because I'm still playing Pirate Yakuza, Oblivion, World of Warcraft, and Expedition 33. There are just so many great games right now, it's insane. Now, as for the premium edition, that really depends on you. If you are the kind of person who knows you are gonna want the DLC anyway, and you like the extra cosmetics, then yeah, go for it. But if you are not big on skins and prefer to wait and see if the DLC is actually good, then the base game will be more than enough. Personally, I had a great time, and after this video goes up, I'm probably jumping back in on Nightmare. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope this short video helped you decide whether or not to pick up the game. Let me know in the comment section below. Did you get it? What do you think about the game so far? Or if you are not going to buy the game, what held you back? Now, if you've liked the video and you want to see more content like this, then please consider subscribing. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions, just let me know in the comment section below. Huge thanks again to Bethesda for the key. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.